Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. It's just a very short video today to discuss negative damage numbers. This has been something that's confused me for a long time and I've kind of just ignored it because I didn't have a solid answer as to what they meant. But recently we were testing some builds out on some legendaries. I put a build together and I put it out, and a lot of the comments were saying how I did need to take into account the negative damage number at the end on the scoreboard, and they were explaining to me why. They couldn't clearly say what exactly it meant, so I did some research and I found it out. So let's just have a look at what this negative number looks like. At the end of any mission on the Division 2, you're able to bring up like an after action report. And this is great if you are comparing builds and things like that, just comparing player stats. In this instance, I put together a new build and I wanted to see how it would compare against the meta, which is the striker build. You can see that my damage dealt with the build I was testing was 1.6 billion. And Mew's damage dealt, who was wearing the meta striker build, was minus 1.5 billion. In the video, I stated how this was just similar, but it's not. That minus does come into play, and this is what I'm going to be explaining today, exactly what that minus means. To find out, I had to scale the internet because, like I said, I had no idea what this was. And in the past, I heard that it just meant that you did more damage. Some people often said that it meant you did double the damage that it was shown. It was this that kind of threw me off because there was no way people were doing the double the damage that was shown, because when I've seen minus numbers before, there's simply not enough HP for it to be double. However, it is kind of close to the truth, and I found this post on Reddit by Kevin F100, where there's a lot of people discussing this this minus damage number. And he copied over an original post that he did on another forum, which says this minus number is because you did over 2.1 billion damage. The game uses a signed 32-bit integer for saving damage. This can only hold up to around 2.1 billion, and after it reaches this limit, we get an overflow and it goes to the smallest possible value of 2.1 billion. And then he goes on to say, for anyone who wants to know why this happens, I'll copy what I posted on another thread, and to add how they can fix this, they should change it to the 64 bits. An unsigned int would fix this problem. Changing to 64-bit wouldn't be simple either. If multiple functions depend on this variable, we could get error or data loss, but it would be the best way. So it's all to do with the tech side of the game and how it stores its damage numbers. Basically, it's on 32-bit rather than 64-bit, whatever that means in the database, and it can only hold up to 2.1 billion on the damage, and that's its cap. When it overflows, it shows you it in a minus number and it starts going backwards. So I'm now just going to explain it in very simple form. So here is another after action activity report. I'm putting my build up again against Mew's striker build, and I got 1.8 billion damage at the end of this legendary run. Mew got into minus numbers again with 1.8 billion. This time I was actually closer than that last card that I showed you when Mew got 1.5 billion, and I'll explain it now. So because mine is a positive number at 1.8 billion, that's the exact damage that I did. But because Mew went into the minus at 1.8 billion, what his damage did, it reached 2.1 billion and then started going backwards. So what you're going to do to figure out what Mew's total damage was is to take the 2.1 billion and then work out how much it's gone back. So in this instance, let's just say 1.8, it's gone back 300 mil. So in effect, Mew did 2.4 billion damage or thereabouts. So obviously just keeping this rounded. So that's how you're going to look at it. In the previous screen that I've shown you, which is this one here, Mew went back all the way to 1.5 billion, which means he got to the cap of 2.1 and then went back 600 million. So you're going to do 2.1, add 600 million, which would be 2.7 billion damage. And that's how you'll work out your damage numbers whenever you see this minus next to them. From what I have researched, nobody actually knows what happens if you make it all the way back down to 0. That would in effect be 4.2 billion damage, and I'm not sure it's been done. I've found nothing online about it anyway. If it has been done, if it happens to you, the likelihood is you'll have a very low number at the end of like a long legendary mission. You probably have something, I don't know, let's say a few 100 million damage. Obviously you've done a lot more than that, and if that's how it works, you'd go all the way up to 2.1 billion, you'd then go back down to 0 to make 4.2 billion, and you'd start counting up again. You'd add whatever that number was onto 4.2 to find out your damage. I'm guessing this is never going to change because of how the system works with saving data on the Division 2, but I know it's a question that I've had to ask many a times in the past. It's only now that I've researched it to see exactly what this minus number is. So I hope this video has been helpful. Just wanted to cover this for anybody else confused about these minus damage numbers today. And if you didn't know, be sure to hit like on the video, comment down below if the video has been helpful, and subscribe for more content from myself. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, take care and peace out.